This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your NHL play of the day for Wednesday, March 1st. It's NHL trade deadline day. We have just two games on the slate on this busy day where you've got players changing teams left and right as trades happen just before the 3 p.m. Eastern Time deadline. But we do have one play that we're interested in tonight in the NHL slate. It comes in the NBC Sports Network Wednesday night rivalry television game. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins traveling to the Windy City to take on the Chicago Blackhawks. A great East versus West matchup here of teams that have won the Stanley Cup in recent years. Pittsburgh taking on Chicago. In fact, I believe this is the last two Stanley Cup champs, the Penguins and the Blackhawks. We've got the Penguins, a significant underdog here. We've got Chicago minus 140 home favorite in this game, total of 5.5. And the Chicago Blackhawks are on absolute fire offensively right now. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games, but in those 9 victories that the Chicago Blackhawks have had, they have scored, get this, they have scored 4 goals or more in 9 of their last 10 games. In the 9 wins, they've scored 4 goals or more. The only loss during that span over their last 10 games was a home loss against Edmonton, 3-1. That was Chicago coming off their bye, their league-mandated bye week. And every team, mostly every team, has struggled in that situation. Teams playing that first game off the bye week in the NHL this season, they've really struggled. So, yeah, I don't hold that against them. And even in that 3-1 loss to Edmonton, their only loss, Chicago, in their last 10 games, they outshot Edmonton 39-22. They outplayed Edmonton. They dominated them, just couldn't put the puck in the net. But other than that, there's been no problems, none, zero, for the Chicago team in terms of scoring goals and finding the back of the net. 4 goals or more in 9 of their last 10 games. Jonathan Toews is scoring. Patrick Kane's on fire. Artemi Panarin is playing well. You go on down the list. It's just been a tremendous collective effort. This Ryan Hartman, too, has come out of nowhere for Chicago. Played very well for this team at the offensive end of the ice in recent games. They're just getting scoring up and down their lineup right now. And, you know, Anissimov's had a terrific season for them. We've seen Nick Schmaltz lately score some goals. I mean, this is everybody right now is contributing and finding ways to score goals for the Chicago team, and that makes them dangerous. And you know, I know they have Scott Darling in net with Corey Crawford nursing a minor injury right now, but Scott Darling's been very, very solid for this team. Scott Darling's had a pretty good success this season in most of his starts, and I think he's going to be able to still do well enough for Chicago in net. On the flip side, you know, the Pittsburgh Penguins losing 3-2 in Dallas. It's a tough spot for them. Second night of back-to-back games. Marc-Andre Fleury is expected to be in net tonight for Pittsburgh. That's assuming he is not traded at the deadline. There is, you know, the Penguins are entertaining offers for Marc-Andre Fleury in terms of a trade, but there's no for certainty that he is traded one way or another. If he's not traded, I would expect him to be in net tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if he is in net, that should bode well for Chicago, because Fleury, you know, he hasn't been great. He's allowed 3 goals or more in 5 of his last 7 starts. Not great numbers for him. You look at Pittsburgh, they have not fared well in this head-to-head series recently. They're 0-4 in the last 4 meetings against Chicago, including 0-4 in the last 4 meetings here at the United Center. And you look at Pittsburgh in terms of scheduling spots this year. They have a winning record in nearly every scheduling spot this season. Nearly every scheduling spot. With 1 day rest, they're 20-12. With 2 days rest, they're 7-3. With 3 or more days rest before the game, this current game, they're 6-2 this season. Their one losing scheduling spot where they have a losing record is this one, where they're playing the second night of back-to-back games when they're playing with no rest. Pittsburgh just 5-6 this season in the second night of back-to-back games. So you put it all together, I think you understand where I'm going. I'm making the case for Chicago. Let's go ahead. I like this play regardless of who's in net for Pittsburgh, whether Fleury goes or not tonight, and that'll be based on obviously if he gets traded or not. I like Chicago regardless. Let's go with it. Chicago minus 140 in the NHL over Pittsburgh. That is your play of the day. Chicago minus 140, your NHL play of the day for Wednesday, March the 1st. All right, that'll wrap it up. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. Until next time, enjoy the game.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.